defensive side, but I've been working on a story about what the Boise State offense means, that old Boise State offense. To you, as a guy who went up against it in practice for a long time, well, what does that old Boise State offense mean, and how close are we going to see to that this year?
Tough. I'm not going to say, a whole lot about our offense because I don't want to give out any secrets, but I just say tough.
That old offense?
Toughness, yeah, tough. They make us better. And so I thought the advantage of our pass, from Ryan Dinwiddie to actually Bart Hendricks to, Dinwiddie to Kelly Moore to Tharp, all those guys always made us, think a lot. And so, we had to think in as far as our energy, we had to show up every day.
You mentioned ask how you feel on Friday. I mean, what is this like for you, kind of getting close to the game, your first chance to get out there and call plays, and just how excited are you for this opportunity?
Just to see what you have. It's going on week, 3 or 4 now, and you really don't know what you have as far as, in a live game time to see those guys play. It's probably at the point to where they're tired of going against each other, and it's time to play.
Heading into the game, what do you think the strength of your defense is going to be?
Once again, hopefully tackling. I think if we can tackle and we can not blow, if we don't blow any coverages and we can tackle, I think we can be pretty good. That's the key, I think, to our defense.
Have you seen those two things through camp?
Yes, I have. There's been a couple blows here and there, but hopefully we got those fixed. But, the one thing we do every day is we are going to work on tackling, and against the team we're playing and have good athletes, and those guys can run and they're fast and they're strong, and so it's going to be a matter of us, of us getting them down, and not giving them any extra yards.
How do you prepare yourself for the job you've got to do, and you haven't been through this in a game situation? How do you get yourself ready for what you need to do on Thursday?
Well, even though I never called plays, I always kind of had myself in a spot to where if I was calling plays, I'll call here and there. So if the coordinator ever asks you for a call, you always have one ready to go. And so now, once again, when it's live and I have 5 seconds or 10 seconds to make that call, we'll see. But, practice and camp is the same thing for me as a coach. It's just like a player. You're going out there to see what the guys can do. And I'm getting a rhythm to see exactly how I want to call a game. So, to me, each day I'm getting better.
What's the best advice someone's given you about being a coordinator and what you're going to face there?
To relax, don't panic, have fun, I guess. Try to have fun. We'll see about the have fun part. But
what do you see as the greatest challenge trying to stop Ole Miss, and maybe what are their biggest strengths as you see coming into this?
Their quarterback. I mean, it starts with him. He runs their offense very well. He has the most starts in that conference out of any guy coming back, and so he's a good player. He runs their offense well. Their backs are very good too. They're shifty, they're strong, they're fast. Their O-line, it'll be good. And so for me, if we can stop the quarterback in the run game, we should be good.
What do you see as differences in the running backs? They seem to split them pretty evenly. Do they each bring something different to the table?
They both are good, and they both look very fast to me on film. So, the key to me is going to be if we can tackle once again, and then if you even go to space, they have some good receivers. Now I keep hearing certain guys are out, but if you've paid attention to the last few years since he's been there, they've got players. So I'm not falling into the trap that they don't have receivers. They got receivers that are very good players. And so, we got it tough. It's going to be tough for us.
Depth chart.
You have a lot of oars on that depth chart. How many guys do you think are going to play defensively for you? I'm assuming it's a close game. Are you going to see as many as 22 guys out there playing defense or a little less?
It all depends, And like I said, you really don't know until you actually play and see who's playing well, see who's getting tired, But you do have to give guys some spells, That's the one thing that me going into the SEC for 2 2 years that you do have to give guys some breaks, you know, and I learned that last year against Auburn. They rotated I believe it was 9 to 10, you know, they was rotating up front. So, you know, they had a fresh front for us at A&M. And so, you know, you do have to, I mean, because you can't have guys out there going hard and fast for 80 straight plays. So we'll see as you know, we play the game.
So you expect to rotate at D-line and at linebacker too, then?
Yeah, probably.
You had Cleashon listed as a starter at corner on the
He's
depth
a
chart.
starter.
What did you see out of him, and how did he kind of win that battle over the other guys?
Consistency. You know, he made plays. I thought what he did was from spring to now, you know, he just seemed to work. And he just kept getting better and better and better, you know, as a player. So.
How different is it? You know, these guys have been up against each other the whole time, but to go up against a team where, you know, you're basically watching last year's performance. You know, is it difficult for you to judge and to prepare them for a team that is going to offer maybe a totally different new look?
I think the team in the conference speaks for itself. You know, I think any time that you play against the SEC, you're going to be ready to play. You know, you're going to be, you know, the venue, you know, the day that you're playing is on ESPN. I think that speaks for itself a little bit. So we might have to tone them down a little bit, you know, to not have them so too fired up.
Who's going to tone you down now?
I'm going to be toned down. You know, I'm going to be, because I don't want them too upbeat. So, you know, we're going to be toned down and just go play. You know, because like I always say, whenever you come out and you're too excited, then it's always a deep ball that's going to, you know, fly over your head. So let's, you know, let's settle down a little bit and read our keys.
Mike was saying he's going to be calm up in the coach's box. How are you going to be up? Nobody can see you. You can yell all you want. What are you going to be like?
We'll see who'll be the most calm. So he said he's going to be calm. I'm going to be calm. We'll see who's going to be the most calm.
Who's going to be up there with you on defense?
It'll be Byron Hout and Tommy Smith.
Yeah, what kind of work have you guys done to, you know, prepare for the communication you've got to do on game day as coaches and the adjustments you got to make and all that stuff that goes on behind the scenes in a game that you doesn't really come up in practice?
Every scrimmage we've been up in the box, and you know we've actually had some stuff on the field where guys are wearing headsets that we're talking to each other to make sure we're on the same page. So, you know, we're doing that. You know, we've done it all. We've done up tempo, we've done huddle. So I kind of have I shouldn't say a whole lot of an advantage, but I know them because I played them the last 2 years at A&M, and so I kind of know their tempo a little bit.
What kind of sense of unknown is there around this program right now? I mean, so many of you guys are in different roles than you've been in before, and the staff hasn't coached a game together. The players haven't been with you for a game. How much of a feeling of just uncertainty is there?
To me, it's just playing the game, you know, as far as, you know, the defense and knowing each other and all that. I think, you know, through spring and now, we know what our guys can do. Now it's a matter of when the lights come on, who's going to show up and make plays. You know, who's going to not stay in their gap or who's going to have bad eyes. And so that all changes once you're not out there and you can't watch film with them. You know, once the game time comes, that's out the door. You know, so to me, I always think that the game is real easy. The team that can tackle and the team that's going to be the most disciplined is going to win the football game. And I'm going to take it a step further. And the team that's the most physical.
Laquan Treadwell, one of those wide receivers. I don't know what number he is, but
number 1.
Okay,
I know what number he is.
What stood out about him? I know he's part of that big recruiting class they got a couple years ago.
He's a good player. You know, he's a guy that wants to play at the next level. Period. You know, and so he plays the game like that. You know, he's tall, he's fast, he has good hands, physical. You know, I think one of the things that he does best, a whole lot of people don't understand, is block. You know, he'll block. And whenever you get a receiver that can block, then I think he can be pretty special. And so he's a special player. So, yeah, we got our work cut out with him.
When
Go ahead.
you look at that defensive backfield, you know, Chancellor James seemed to have moved himself up in the competition there at safety. How do you feel about what you have at that safety position, particularly after the starters who have done it before?
We'll see after they play. You know, like I said, to me, they're doing everything we're asking them to do, and you know, we just got to keep getting better, But to me, a football player is a guy that steps up when the lights come on. You know, it's easy to do it out here when it's, you know, a coach behind you, or you know, we can call timeout or reload. But once you're in the Georgia Dome, we'll see what these guys have.
In your defense, what is the nickel's job? What do you need out of that position?
He needs to be smart. He needs to be able to cover. He needs to be able to tackle in space. He needs to blitz. He needs to kind of do it all.
You know, obviously the gold standard of that position was what Winston did a few years ago. Is that kind of the vision in your defense? Because it kind of been a little different. Corey's role last year was a little bit different than that. But is that kind of what you?
It'll vary, you know, according to scheme. You know, I don't.
Yeah.
Once again, I'm gonna be very tight-lipped as far as what I'm gonna say about that. But yeah, he's gonna be asked to tackle and cover.
What kind of opportunity is this for your team and the coaching staff, just on a national stage, to kind of, you know, announce that Boise State's back?
Everyone's important. Every game is, you know, is important. So, you know, to me, it's the first game, yeah, and you want to win. And as a player, as a coach, you don't show up the fall camp, or you don't lift weights in the summer, or you don't do spring ball, or I don't break down film to lose. You know, so when we step on the field, it's about winning, and it's about winning. I don't care who we're playing. And so the whole thing is, when our guys step on the football field, they need to understand that we're here to win a football game, and I don't care who we're playing.